I'm Eric from 36 Degrees. I'm here in Raiatea again to show you this Open 40 4 cabins. We have the chance again today to have the owners on board, so they will kindly show us the boat and explain everything. So let's go for walkthrough and meet Espen and Annika.
We were looking at a lot of different boats before we decided on choosing this one, just choosing Nautitech and then choosing this specific model. Don't know how much detail we want to go into, but as you mentioned, we wanted to have something that was a bit sporty, that was going a little bit faster. Yes, it's a production catamaran, for sure, but it's a bit more sporty, and we saw that when we won actually our class in the Arc Plus last year, so that's fun. It is a fast boat, and we like that, but still it's a comfortable boat. It has plenty of space. We were a family of 5, was perfect with 1 cabin each. And
the outdoor space as well. Being in these warm climates, it's very nice to spend a lot of time outdoors. And this boat has a big outdoor area, which is perfect for warm weather sailing.
Yeah, on the specific year, when we had decided we wanted to buy an Open 40, Nautitech Open 40, we looked at what year. Buying new, as you mentioned, was outside of our budget, so we wanted to have something used, but not too old, so somewhere in between. And we ended up on 2019, and specifically why 2019 is because that was, as you mentioned, there was a new model between 2018 and 19, which had some upgrades that was important to us. You can see how the Dinghy is, it's much more solid than the previous model versions. As you mentioned, the kitchen is different, it's opposite side, so it's great when you're working in the kitchen and you can still have great visibility outside, which is great. I know the windows in the cabins are different. There's twice as much window space or about than the previous model, which is great. It's more light into the cabins. The bathrooms are different, like you can see the sinks are different. There's a lot of both small and big changes between 2018 and 2019, so that's why we found that was our perfect spot. One of the reasons why we wanted this, because it's easy to handle. So for somebody like us that didn't have experience, we didn't have any experience on a catamaran whatsoever, and not as much blue water sailing, so we wanted something that was easy to handle, and it certainly is. You can single handle this. So if something were to happen with one of us, we know that the other one would be capable or able to sail on his or her own.
We did have a lineup. Sailors usually say that you don't make a strict plan, you write it in the sand, and then you see what happens. So we did know that we were going to go out through the Mediterranean, and we did know that we were going to join the Arc and cross over the Atlantic. But coming to the Caribbean and where to go from there, we hadn't decided yet. We did want to go to the Pacific Islands, but that was just a big dream. And here we are. Yeah.
We met some friends along and they helped us decide which way to go, and
and when.
And when, for sure. Yeah.
Earlier than we would have gone.
We've changed our plan many times during this last year.
Okay, and why did you want to sail the boat now?
Family.
We don't want to.
It's mainly because of family. We have to go back. We have 2 sons that are not that old yet and still need some following up, and old parents.
We love this Helm station. It really gives you great visibility when you're sailing, both towards the sails to other things that might happen, like other boats. It's great visibility. As well as when you're docking, you are so close, especially when you're docking on the starboard side. You're so close to everything, so it's very easy to handle, very easy to control the boat and get in and out of a berth in the marina, for instance.
So what about the electronics on this station?
Yep, so we have 2 separate systems, 2 completely independent systems for redundancy. So one is the BNG system that came with the boat. So we have 3 BNG screens, nav computers, as well as we have an Orca. So Orca is a Norwegian company that develops marine electronics. So these two systems are completely independent from each other. It has two separate GPSs, two separate compasses. So in case one of them fails, we could use the other one. Another advantage with the Orca is that since this tablet runs Android, we can install other apps. So especially here in where we were in the Tuamotus, running OpenCPN with satellite navigation was just great. So we were able to view the satellite views and on top of the topographic maps. So I have one of the Orca tablets here. They are very heat resistant. So compared to like an iPad, an iPad would quickly turn off in the sun because it gets too hot. These ones does not. So these stand in sunlight all day long and still work great. Also, the light is much brighter on these than on an iPad. Here's another thing I use this tablet for. It's for power management. So when we bought the boat, we decided to upgrade the electronic systems. We installed lithium batteries and solar panels, and I control all that from this tablet. So in here I can see how much battery we have consumed, current consumption, and how much the solar panels are, how much power the solar panels are generating. So you can see the amps in and out. When we decided on the 2019 model of the Open 40, one of the things that was part of that decision was this davits. So as you can see, this is much more rigid than on the 2018 model, which just has two poles going out. So it's much stronger. We have a dinghy, it's a TacaCat. The advantage with this one is that it's very light. So having something very light so far back at the boat improves the sailing performance of the boat overall. Another advantage with the TacaCat is when we're doing long ocean crossings and we're not going to use the dinghy, we can deflate it and pack it away and put it in storage. So there's nothing here that can catch waves and damage the boat. We also decided to have redundancy when it comes to the outboards. So we have two outboards. Initially, we bought the electric one from a company called Remigo. The electric one is, of course, one of the advantages with that is for the sake of the environment. We also have an additional one for longer range, and that's this Suzuki 6 horsepower gasoline-powered outboard. If you don't want to stand on the starboard side, you can go to the port side. Or also for better visibility on this side, you can choose which helm station that makes most sense to you and in that specific scenario. So also over here, we have the BNG system. And as I showed you, the Orca tablets, they are portable, so we can bring that over here in case we want to do that. One more thing we have here, and it's hidden from view, but in here we have a Starlink. And since we had 3 teenagers on board, having a Starlink was absolutely mandatory. I'm sure they would say that was the most important feature of the boat. And it's been used, and it works, yeah, all over the globe. Up in the mast, we also installed a radar. For doing night watches, we felt like having that extra visibility was absolutely crucial to be able to see other boats. Not everybody uses AIS, so being able to see those fishing vessels or others that are traveling in the ocean in the middle of the night was important. And the lifeline for rescue people that have fallen overboard. This also has the capability of hoisting people on board. So you can use, for instance, one of the halyards connected to this one, and you can hoist people from the water up back on board. And as we walk up, we have there's a lot of good handhelds here. So we always feel safe, even in rough weather. So both these, as you walk up the stairs, as well as here on the edge of the roof, is a very good place to hold on to. Here you see some of the solars, or all of the solars. 2 of these panels came with the boat when we bought it, and then we installed new. So it's about 2,000 watts of solar panels of a model name that's called Tough. So they are, at least according to them, marketed as very solid, and of course you can walk on them. Sails was very important to us. When we bought the boat, it came with a set of sails. We still kept those, but we decided to renew all the sails. So we bought a new main and jib and Gennaker, all from Mainsail. The mainsail is a squared top made of a material called Renew, our product that's called Renew, which is more environmental friendly. It's brand new from Mainsail. Also on the Gennaker, we bought a new furler. The boat came with a Genoa, which is still on the boat, and it has 2 separate furlers. So we have one furler for each of them. And we also have two life rafts. This one is the one for open ocean. We participated in the Ark crossing the Atlantic when they have a lot of safety requirements. One of them was to have a certified life raft, which this particular one is for 8 people, and is also for 8 people to survive more than 24 hours. So inside there's a lot of extra equipment for people to survive out in the open ocean for a longer time. Things like food, water. I think there is some nausea tablets in there. Up here at the mast is where we control the reefing system, and we also have the Gennaker halyard as well as the topping lift. We had a lot of discussions when we bought the boat regarding the reefing system, whether to bring it back to the cockpit or keep it here, because there's a lot of people saying that yes, you should always have the reefing system back at the cockpit. I actually disagree. We found this area to be so safe that we wanted to keep it here, and bringing it back to the cockpit would add a lot of additional friction. And we saw on boats that had that sometimes you had to go up here to the mast anyhow, because of that friction made it too difficult to reef. So we can reef downwind. We don't have to go upwind to reef. We can lower the mainsail and reef while still sailing. That's another thing when we were comparing between the different years or the different models of the Open 40. So the 2019 and newer have these open area. So the steps are here. On the older ones, this is solid fiberglass, which reduces or limits the visibility. It helps a lot to be able to see through the steps. And to be honest, they look nice. They look nicer than having fiberglass ones up there. As you can see also on the boat, there's a lot of windows, which makes it a lot easier to have airflow through the entire boat. Makes it much more cooler and comfortable to stay inside when we're in hotter climates or warmer climate like here. So we have 2 life rafts. I mentioned the one at the front. We have one at the back here as well. This is only certified for Italy because we bought the boat in Italy, but we still decided to keep the life raft because this has another advantage. There's a hatch underneath, so if worst case should happen and the boat flips upside down, you're able to access this life raft from underneath the boat.
This is actually one of the things we do love about this boat because it's so big. The Nautitech 40 or the Nautitechs all have large outdoor areas, and this is where we spend 80% of our time. This is where we do everything: eat, homework, plan our next voyage. Everything's done out here. And we also have a lot of storage place here underneath the couch. Here we also have the first aid. And we have a fridge outside, which is great to have the beverages. And there's a full enclosure if it rains. We only use it if it's a lot of rain. Coming inside, we have the majority of the kitchen facing towards the helm and the outside, which I really like. I love to cook, so it's great to be here and interact with the people being outside on the boat. And here we also have a fridge on this side, good space to bake or make food, and it's a good visibility if you want to have a look at the same time.
What about the storage?
It is quite a lot of storage here as well. We have 2 cupboards here, and there's storage under the oven, there's storage in here, and there's storage underneath the bench. The rest of the storage is mainly downstairs in both hulls. Since we are traveling as much as we can to remote areas, we decided that we wanted to have an additional freezer. So we bought the freezer here, and it's working very well. And for us, it's an absolute must when you're staying out in the anchorages for a long time. So here we have our hi-fi system where we usually connect with our Bluetooth and play music on the stereo. And we also have the Watermaker here. It's connected to the engine. So when the engine is on, we can just push the button and it produces water, approximately 100 liters an hour, and it's very efficient.
So the Watermaker runs off the engine. It has the compressor runs off a belt of the engine. So there's pros and cons. Alternatively, you have a Watermaker that runs off the batteries, and then you need to have sufficient capacity either on the batteries and to be able to charge the batteries. Since we decided to not have a generator on board, this was the perfect solution for us. So here we have the 2 GPSs. I mentioned we have complete redundant systems. So one is the GPS connected to the AIS and the BNG system. The other one is the Orca GPS. Here we have the control panel. This is where we control all the different switches of this boat. It's all controlled electronically. So here I can turn on and off all the instruments of the boat, the sail navigation lights, the anchor lights, the deck floodlights, the cabin lights, and so on and so forth. You see there's a drawing of the boat. So you can see what button controls which different unit. And that's one for each deck. So this is the upper deck, and you have the same thing for the lower decks. And here you have the 2 different hulls. So I can turn on and off the lights on the starboard hull or on the port hull, or I can control the different bilge pumps. So I have a bilge pump in each of the different hulls, and there's one in each of the different engine rooms. There's also another manual bilge pump in each of the different hulls. So whenever they run, since they automatically turn on in case there is water in the bilge, they automatically turn on, and you can see it on this display. In case they run for a very long time, if something's wrong, if there's a water leak or some water intrusion, hopefully it never happened, but then this will also give you an alert. In case there is some failure, a fuse is blown, you can see that here. So you get the alert, and then you can go in and track each of these different switch panels. So there are three different panels with fuses, one in each hull and a central unit in here. So if one of the fuses is blown, something is failed, you can go in here and you can see which fuse needs to be replaced and what unit is that particular fuse controlling. In here you can also see the The water level, so how much fresh water do we have in each tank. We have 2 tanks of 220 liters, and you can control each of the different tanks individually, so you can switch one off and just use one of them, or you can have both open at the same time. Same thing for fuel. You can see our current fuel capacity. It's maximum is 220 in each tank, and these are always going one to each engine.
The sitting area that we have inside, we have had friends sleeping over in the boat for 2 weeks here. You can just lower the table and then you can make a bed here as well. 4 cabins. It used to be a shorter, but if you look here, you have this grey cloth. On the other side of that, there's an extra cabin that used to be the captain's cabin, and on the other side we have the toilet that the captain used. We've used some of the spare parts, but it can still be remade to have another extra toilet there in front. The bathroom is shared between the 2 cabins in each hull, and it's a similar layout on both sides.